Hello, everyone. My guest today is Saravana Kumar. He's the founder and CEO of a company called Kovai.co. That's Kovai.co. It's a multi-product software company based out of London. He built and scaled 4 successful B2B and SaaS products with 1,200 plus enterprise customers. Document 360 is the latest product in the portfolio, a knowledge-based product born out of their frustration writing documentation for their other enterprise products. Saravana, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's get started.
You're building products to scratch your own itch. That's usually the best way to start. So when did you start selling Document 360?
The product we sold the first dollar revenue came around June 2018.
Yeah. And when was Kovai launched, the parent company?
Okay, the Kovai, the company itself is about 9 years old now. So we started with one product. Initially, the company used to be called as Bootstrapped 360. We started like a one product company, and then we started building multiple products, and then we rebranded ourselves with this Kovai.co umbrella branding about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so you launched in 2011.
That's right, 2011. Yeah.
And do you remember that first year what revenue was?
I'll say about 50K. So I started in the mid of June 2011, and it started as its enterprise product. The price point was about $8 to $10K, and I think we finished that year with about 7 customers in 6 months. So I'll say roughly about 40, 50K, something like that. Yeah.
And I mean, tell us a story here, right? So why don't you just start actually by listing all of your current products, and then we'll sort of break down the history. So list all the product names today.
Sure. The core product of the business is called Bootstrapped 360, and that's how the company was started. Like I used to work as a consultant in one of the Microsoft technologies called Bootstrapped Server. It's a middleware. It's a deep tech product, and I spent 10 years as a consultant in various parts of UK. And I found a gap when it comes to enterprise customers on security auditing, etc. And that's how the company got started. It just started out of my living room, and I never thought I'll form a company out of it. I just was a hardcore tech person. Still I do coding, just to give a reference how hard hardcore technical. So it just started off, and then that gradually grown into a 5 people company in London. So I used to run up to five members. I used to run the company from my own house. We had just converted one of the living rooms into a small office, and I managed to pull the team. And then in 2013, we started up our India operations with a small 500 square feet office and about 10 people. And then in 2015, we set up our first proper office with about a capacity of, it can take about 55 people capacity. We set up our office. And that's
in India or London?
That's in India, yeah. So we have an office in London as well. We have about 12 people here. And the company size is right now, it's about 120 people. Mm-hmm. So 2015, we started this office with about 50 people. And last year, we set up a brand new office, which is, we couldn't open it right now because we spent about 8 months, and we invested about 1.2 million just on the interior office space in India. That can take about 260 people capacity. And the Serverless 360 was the second product we formed.
Sorry, when did you invest that 1.2 million to build that India office? That was 2015?
No. This is pretty recent. We invested in last year.
Oh, in 2018. So you expanded the India office from 50 people to now 260 people can fit.
Correct. Yeah. So, okay. And then within the last 9 months, we hired over 60 people. So we doubled our capacity. So, and the goal is to end this year by around 160 people. So, and we will still have spare capacity, but we don't want to keep switching offices. So we know there will be some wastages, but we took a long-term thing and say, okay, like the next 5-6 years, we don't want to switch offices, and we formed that office now. Okay, coming back to your original question. Okay, Bootstrapped 360 is the first product. Until 2016, we didn't have any other product. We focused on that one particular product, and that's one of the successful products in the company. And for that particular product, we have about 700 enterprise customers now.
On Bootstrapped 360?
That's right. Yeah. And then we started Serverless 360. That's about 3 years ago. And for that, we have about 50 customers now. Then Document 360, actually, the first line of code was written in Jan 2018 because I know the dates very clearly because this is actually in October 2017. I was in Microsoft campus for a conference or something like that. That's where the idea came. And I pulled the entire company that December, and we did a company-wide hackathon, 35 engineers all together. We created the base product, and then we figured out, okay, MVP is ready, and it's really looking good. And then we scratched the whole thing, and we formed a team and started the product development in Jan 2018. And we didn't wait long. June 2018, we went live. And with the first month, we got about $400 revenue. And since then, gradually it's grown up. And right now, we are about 230 active customers. We have crossed over 300 customers, but taking into account all the churn and everything, currently about 230 active customers at the moment for Document 360. Yeah.
That's got it. So there's 700 enterprise customers on BizTalk, 50 on serverless, and 230 on Document 360.
Correct. And we have one more product as well, Atomic Scope, which is actually, we started it as a full-blown product, but then we just decided to just bundle it along with one of our products. So that one got a few more customers as well.
Okay, interesting. And if you had to just sort of break down the average price point for each of these, let's go backwards. So Document 360, the average customer is paying about how much?
The ARPU for Document 360 is about $100 per month.
Okay, and what about Serverless 360?
Okay, those three products, it's all a kind of similar kind of a price point and similar kind of customer profile.
Great.
So we're looking at anywhere from 10K to 100K mark, yeah.
10K to 100K for Serverless 360?
Per annum, yeah, BizTalk 360, yeah.
Oh, on BizTalk 360 is.
But as I said, all three products are similar kind of price bracket. So an average enterprise customer will pay anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 per annum, yeah.
Okay, but that's very different than a Document 360 customer paying $100 per month on average.
That's right. It's a completely different experience for me. We are moving from enterprise more into like a pure SaaS, $100 ARPU. Everything is metric driven, kind of. It's a complete switch for us. So that's why I was telling you, we want to focus more on the Document 360 because other products, we don't have like a Stripe or ChargeBee or anything. It's a typical PO and accounts and those kind of accounting system. The numbers are not very accurate but Document 360 from day one, all these things were set up correctly. So we know exactly, what is the ARPU, LTV, CAC, and all those metrics are in our fingertips. Basically.
Is Serverless 360, those 50 customers, are they paying like $100 per month or like 10 grand per year?
It will be 10 grand per year, yeah.
Got it. So that was also an enterprise play.
Yeah. So all the other three products say pretty much same. Like it's yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. And if you look at your last 12 months revenue, what percent would you say each of these products make up?
Okay, still the company's 90% or 80% of the revenue comes from BizTalk 360 because that's our core product and that's where a majority of the company runs. But the Document 360 is our fastest growing product in the company now. So yeah, I will say now 15-20% of the revenue comes from Document 360. I don't know the exact numbers. Will be very
That's okay.
The numbers won't match, but we're just looking at just at a very high level, in terms of BizTalk 360 is our number one product. And Document 360 that's exactly where I'm spending a lot of my time in the last 2 years, and there's a lot of energy gets into this product, and this is getting faster and faster now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so if we just focus on BizTalk 360, where there's 700 enterprise accounts, and you're saying ACVs are 10 grand to 100 grand a year. I mean, let's just assume it's $1,000 a month, right? Times 700. I mean, you're doing north of $700,000 a month right now in revenue, maybe way more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more or less right. I think, you're more or less right. Yeah, 600 to 700K per month. Yeah.
When do you think you break sort of a magic 10 million ARR mark, or have you already?
No, we are close actually. Like, we are about somewhere around 8.5 to 9, something like that. So we are very close. I think the goal is okay. That's our internal metric as well. We wanted to hit it. Somewhere it might, I think the gut feeling is somewhere maybe, like mid of next year or early next year is we will hit it 100%. Okay, we will cross it.
Very cool. And you've done all this. Let's get some of the capital history here. Did you bootstrap or raise capital?
It's fully bootstrapped. Yeah. We don't have any funding. Yeah.
It's a trick question. I knew the answer, but I wanted everybody to hear it. So yeah, you've bootstrapped this, which is really what I love. Help me understand. There's a lot of entrepreneurs listening right now that are saying, you know what? I'm hearing about all these success stories coming out of India. Should I go open up an office in Chennai? Should I spend 1.2 million in Bangalore and open an office there? Right now, obviously, you don't want competition, but from a building a company perspective and talk a little bit about the development talent, should people be thinking about opening offices in India?
Okay, of course, the development talent is there. There's no doubt about it. It's in terms of when I initially when the 2013 when I decided to go to India, I was very clear. You cannot build a product company, especially a bootstrap company from London or anywhere from Europe. So the price point, if you look at a good engineer, it will be roughly at the moment, we have 1:2, and majority of them will be 1:4 kind of ratio for the same amount.
How much? Sorry,
it will be anywhere from 1:2 to 1:4. Instead of hiring one developer here, I can hire four developers there. That's the ratio. For some of the higher technical people, the ratio will be like 1:2 roughly. So the technical talent is there, but that doesn't mean like somebody can jump and go set up something in Bangalore or anywhere in India. Because one thing they need to realize, moving into any country, there are cultural barriers to cross, right? So you need to know how to work with that talent as well, and how to, it's not like a typical way. You need to have the hurdles of crossing that, but otherwise it's good. But having said that, the technical side is good, but the other side of marketing, sales, and those things, you still need to cover it up. That's where I feel it's working very well, having both London presence and then the India presence. We offloaded our entire engineering, QA, support, and all those kind of things to India, and then we keep sales, marketing, and the leadership team here in London. Yeah.
So let's talk about culture for a second. You and I have met many times at SaaS Doc events. We have, I feel like you maybe know me a little bit, right? What mistakes would I make? You know my personality. What mistakes would I make if I tried to open up an office in India and hire 6 developers? You can be brutally honest.
Okay, I think the India, the challenge is the quantity is there. If you want, say, for example, tomorrow you want 1,000 developers, you can go to one of those TCS and Wipros and say, tomorrow I need a team of 1,000 developers. It's not a problem. But if you wanted to get the top 5 for you to execute and run the product, finding that particular talent will be difficult. So even in our case, like it's a mostly homegrown talent. When you can't magically find the best developer out there in the wild. So what we do is we take initially we struggled, but now we have people who are capable of building world-class SaaS products in the company. So I think that is finding the right talent will be difficult. So to answer your question, it will take time for you to figure out exactly the right talent is suitable for you.
No, but specifically, right? So let's say I'm opening an office there. I'm a new founder entrepreneur. I want to save capital. So I try and sell these developers instead of paying them $30,000 per year, which I imagine is probably what a junior developer costs in India, right? Somewhere in that range, 20 to 30.
You can get junior developers around 12 to, it ranges from 10 to 12 lakhs. That's about, the conversion is about $20,000. Let's say $20,000. You can get a decent developer for a $20,000 market.
Yeah. So if I am trying to save capital, I want to hire a team of 5 of those good engineers. So it'd be $100,000 a year in expenses. And I want to try and convince them that my company is valuable and then they should take a little equity and then take a bit of a pay cut. Let's say only take $15,000 per year. Do they care about equity? Do they know what that means in terms of driving company value and growth, or is it something they don't care about?
I think it will be very difficult to convince on equity basis because it's a paper money for them, right? Like I think it's you will be better off paying them a good salary and maybe some kind of a bonus rather than explaining equity, and probably they won't. In our case, we always kept it that way, like just a good salary and a bonus. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so 120 people are on your team. How many of them are engineers?
About 60 to 70.
60 to 70. And then any quota carrying sales reps or no?
Yeah, we have a quota carrying sales rep, and it will be about 15 people, I'll say. Yeah.
15. And how do you set quota? What I mean, how aggressive is it?
Okay, certain products like the enterprise products is very difficult to set it. They don't have any, it's basically a good salary. Like we don't drive on basically revenue side of things. But for the Document 360, it's basically we are looking at about $1,200 to $2,000 per MRR per month is the quota for a typical SDR.
Got it. So you want them to add 2K in new MRR or about 24K, 25K new ARR per month. So over a year, they should add about 300 grand in new ARR.
That's spot on. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And what you're saying is you pay less commissions than maybe one would expect, but your base is a little bit higher.
That's right. Yeah. So the company culture is, we run it on a good salary rather than a commission driven model. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, talk to me. Let's just focus on Document 360 since you've had the instrumentation there since 2018 when you launched it. What does churn look like just on that business?
It's right now, the last 6 months data, it's looking somewhere between 2 to 5% monthly churn. This is a net revenue churn, not logo churn.
Yeah, revenue churn. So let's call it 3% a month or about 36% annually. Now, before COVID, was it still about the same?
In fact, like a Document 360, we didn't see any impact. Like in fact, the growth is quite is higher on Document 360. It didn't dip; it actually gone up actually in terms of new revenue. Yeah.
And what does Document 360 do?
It's an online self-service knowledge base. So if you have a product and you wanted like a self-service knowledge base, you can build it using Document 360. At the moment, the customers might use something from bundled along with your help desk products like Zendesk, Freshdesk, or Intercom. But the problem is they don't invest enough on the knowledge base side of things. So that's why I said, I know we experienced a pain point ourselves. Like as we were scaling our enterprise product, our documentation was getting more and more complex, where more people are contributing. It just started to fall apart, all these things. That's when we thought, okay, there is opportunity to build it.
Yeah.
And
built it for you or your own first customer, which is great. Before we wrap up here, Saravana, talk to me about CAC. What are you paying to get on the BizTalk 360 product? What are you paying to get a new $1,000 a month customer?
Okay, as I said, BizTalk 360 is very difficult to judge it, and also it's not like a very steady, stable thing. It varies every month. Sometimes in a month you might acquire like a couple of really good 50K, 60K deals, and then some other month you won't be able to. So it's very difficult. But for a Document 360, the current CAC is around 1,500 to 1,800 per customer. Yeah.
Per customer, got it. So you're spending $1,500 to get a new customer that pays $100 a month. So your payback period there is what, about between 12 and 15 months?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, got it. That makes good sense. Anything else I missed that you want to make sure you slip in before we wrap up?
I think we covered pretty much everything, I guess. Yeah.
We covered a lot. We got a lot done in 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
It's a Fast Lane Millionaire, MJ Marco, I guess. Yeah.
Millionaire Fastlane?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I follow very closely Girish Mathrubodham of Freshworks. He's a good friend of mine as well. So we do have a conversation. The reason, whenever you ask this question, people say Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. Okay, they're all fine. But, I follow somebody where, I can reach that point. And and also Girish got a similar kind of a background to me. Like we both come from a second-tier city in India. So I can relate a lot of things along with him, and I follow him very, very closely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on the show, and one of the things in the back of my head, I'll ask you now since you brought it up. I mean, there must have been talks about Freshworks acquiring you guys. Why haven't you sold, or why haven't you guys done a deal together?
I don't think the products are related, because if you look at all the three products, there's no connection for Freshworks with those three products. For Document 360, there is a possibility, yeah, but we are too early, right? We are only in the market for the last 2.5 years, something like that. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. All right, number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company besides one of your own?
I would say Microsoft Teams, because we run the entire company now in Teams. So that's from the business side, and from a personal side, I know my life revolves around OneNote actually.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
7 hours.
That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married, 2 kids, 13 and 10. Yeah.
And how old are you, Saravana?
I'm 43.
43. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Learn as much as possible, really. The first 10 years, 20 to 30 is don't worry about anything financially. Take every opportunity to learn as much as you can.
Guys, Kovai.co, bootstrapped to $8.5 million in terms of ARR, hoping to cross that magical $10 million ARR mark sometime in 2021. They're doing it with 3 great products. BizTalk 360, an enterprise play, launched in 2011. Serverless 360, launched in 2016 with 50 customers. And their newest product, Document 360, 230 active customers, makes up 15% of their revenue. But there's 230 customers there, and it's growing extremely fast. Their fastest growing product. We'll see what happens. Saravana, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Thanks.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.